should have watched the rest of our videos on YouTube, and this would have got you a good start to making things with your pocket hole jig. Now let's go on to something a little bit more complicated, but it's still easy to do. I'd class this as a level 5 in woodworking, and it shows you a few different styles of how you can make a bedside table. Alright, we're going to be starting with the sides of the bedside table. And the reason why we're doing that is because it's a structure, and we're actually building a structure. So to make things easy when you're building a structure is I've made a pre-made jig. Now the jig is specially made because we've got legs on it, and we need to have the spaces worked out in between. The materials that you're using are 4 pieces of 42 by 19, 250 millimeters long. And we're using 4 pieces 42 mil by 19 by 600 mil long, and that's the actual legs. So when you place this in our jig here, this will give you some idea of why this jig's made. Now what we've got here, we've got our 2 legs, we've got our top, and then we've got our base of our legs. Now we don't want this piece of timber to go all the way to the bottom, so I've put this strip, and then what that strip is the thickness of one of these, which is 42 mil up from the base, and then I've screwed that in here. And that's what will actually give you exactly the same side as the other side. So and then it's just a matter of putting 2 pockets on either piece of your rails. I always mark just with the pencil so I don't get them round the wrong way. And then naturally you've used the jig before, so you know how to set it up, and you go ahead and we'll drill all our holes now. Now we've done all our drilling, it's time to assemble the sides of your cabinet. Alright, we've assembled our sides using the pocket hole jig system. Now what we need to do is route the little edge around the outside here to fit our ply. Now you'll need 2 pieces of ply, and the sizes I've got here is 520, 270 by 3 millimeters thick. So with your 3 millimeters thick, you've got to set your router up. You can go just a fraction deeper, but at least you've got to have at least 3 millimeters so you can actually groove it in. And mine's got around about 10 millimeters in the actual side, so it actually got a piece to nail into. Now what you'll need to get going, you'll need your safety glasses, you'll need your earmuffs. I've got a special router mat. And when you put down your timber on your router mat, it holds it so it doesn't move. So I've routed out the rebate now for the ply. All it takes is now a little bit of glue, and then we can tack it all in. put the safety glasses on because I'm going to be using a little tacker. But if you haven't got a tacker, you just get the hammer and nails. Make sure you've got small little brads. I like to use the glue, but sometimes it's a little bit messy, so you just get a damp cloth, just wipe over where the glue is overrun. Because I'm using PVA glue. When you're using PVA glue, it's easy enough to wipe off when you've got a damp cloth. We've got the sides made, now we need to do the rails. Now, like I was saying before, depends how you're going to do it. You're going to have a drawer, you're going to have a door, you're going to have shelves. So what I did is I actually made it up for shelves. So if you were doing it with shelves, you need 7. In this case here, I'm putting a door on, so you only need 5. So what you do then is you get your pieces. Now, what you've got to be careful of here is that when you're using the front one at the top, there could be, because you're actually going into thin material. So what you're doing is you're putting it in here and you're screwing from the back to the front, and it's only leaving a little bit of material here. So what we're going to do for the front one, we're only going to put one pocket hole in the front one at the top. Right, with the back it doesn't matter, because with the back we can actually screw from the back piece into the thicker part of the timber, and that will reduce the splitting. But on the front, we want to make sure that the front looks nice, so what we'll be screwing from the back, so it doesn't leave much timber here for the screw to come in. So by putting it into the centre, so on one piece, we're only putting one hole in the middle of either end. So we're only putting one hole. All the rest will have the two holes like we normally do. Now we've done all our holes, we're going to assemble the main structure. Now remember what I was saying, we've got 2 holes in most of the timber except for this front one here. We've only got 1 hole in here because we're only going for the screw through on an angle here, which we could split it. But it doesn't matter, even if we do, we can back it off, put some glue in. But you want the front to look nice. So that's why we're doing it. The back, it doesn't matter, you're not going to see the back. Now it's up to you. Some people say, will I glue it or not? Well, it's up to you. Normally when you're doing furniture, it does pay you to put glue on. It just helps it a lot better. The strength of the screws are quite strong, but adding a little bit of glue makes it a little bit neater. Alright, so we've got our front one here. As you can see, we've only got 1. And at the back here, we've got the double screws in here to give it some strength. That takes care of the top part of your bedside table. If you have a look here, we were really lucky. It went on nice and smooth, there wasn't any splitting. But like I said, because you're going from here through a thin piece of timber, you could occur splitting. So you've got to be very careful. What we're going to do now is add our rail in here, and the one, I'm going to do one that has a shelf here and then a door in the front. So we're going to run one across here. Now because we've got little feet on here, we're going to put our spacer in. It goes on here. This is the one with the pockets in, that sits on top. Now we're going to start putting the screws in, the pocket hole screws in, to pull the last bit of the frame together. Now we can take our spacers away here. And we've got the whole carcass actually built now. And now this is where we actually got to work out what we're going to do. You can actually have shelving in here for your pocket hole, for your bedside table. You can have a drawer in the top, or you can have a door. This is where you can actually make it into many things. Now with the top, what we're going to be doing is joining two pieces together, because we haven't got one long piece to make the top. So we'll do that now so that's prepared. Now because we haven't got a wide board, what we're going to do is be putting two pieces together like that. So it's just a matter then of just putting holes in one. So we look at the timber to see which is the better surface. That one's the better one there, and this one's the better one there. Now remember, now what we're doing is we're going against the grain now with doing our pockets. But it doesn't really matter too much because it's underneath. You're not going to actually see it. You can see what happens. All you need to do to make it so it doesn't look as bad is a little knife just to trim away that edge. Now we're going to put the top on. So we've got a countersink drill bit here. Now for our rail going across for our shelf, we use the piece of tin we're going to use to make our door will give us our distance down. Alright, how do we put our bottom shelf in? The easiest way to do that is to cut your little blocks, 45-degree blocks, glue and either nail or screw these into the corners, so then when your shelf goes in here, it sits on the top. Now as you can see, we got that in. If you're going to make a door, it's exactly the same method as what we did when we were actually making the sides. We've routed out here, we've put our ply in here, we've joined together with pocket hole, and it's just a matter then of just putting your knobs on, putting your hinges on. For your back, the back is simple, same router, we run around the back here and we just put our back on. It's up to you whether you fix it down with nails. I've just put a couple of screws because I have to keep taking it off to show people, but that's just a matter of that. Your top, you can route around the edges if you want to, sand it down and make it look really nice. The method for your inside shelf, all I've done is from the back I've come in with the same material as here, and I've screwed underneath here with pocket hole screws. This part here goes into this part. So if you want to build any sort of construction, it's very simple with pocket hole screws. It's just a matter of working it out, thinking a little bit. We'll have the plans for this and also the cutting list, so you can pick that up from our website. But please have a look at all our YouTube videos because it'll help you make all types of different things. The cupboards up here, these are all being built. This is MDF and also particle board being built, and then the normal pine timber, and I've done the pocket hole screws into the doors here, and I've rebaited it out so the perspex fits in. So you can build all your cupboards and everything for your cabinets, for your workshops, for home kitchens, all types of different types of work. It's really amazing what pocket hole screw system will actually do. Now thank you for this. I hope you enjoyed our different products that we make here, and catch us on the website at any time. You can ring us up for questions, and we do visit a lot of clubs too. Thank you very much.